Welcome, young lady. My, what ostentatious shoes you're wearing. Bear with me here. This is all off the top of my head, young lady. We've got to just dress for the part. This is just some props I've got lying around. Let's put George Harrison's jacket on backwards. This might work. This might work. Shh. Shush. Welcome, young lady. My, what ostentatious shoes you're wearing. On. Lovely, glitzy. There you go, I'm a completely different person now. So, welcome, young lady. What's the problem? You want my help? How interesting. I mean, you're standing right in front of me. I don't know why I did that. You're not whispering. Young lady, you're not whispering to me, are you? You are just talking. I see you have some gentlemen with you. Scarecrow, Tin Man, Lion. What's the meaning of this, dear young lady with the ostentatious shoes? They're each lacking a quality, you say, that they think that I can help them with. Okay, young lady. Mr. Scarecrow. Mr. Scarecrow, what is it you say you're missing? A brain. Missing a brain. Oh, now that's not uncommon in these parts. I gotta say, you should read the Mercurial number 6's comment sections. There's a lack of brains there. It's alright. We can do this. What do you mean? What you enjoy? Clickety clack, clickety clack. This is embarrassing. Get back to the reviews. You should be reviewing albums. Alright. Wait. It's good, this. Lacking a brain, you say? And like I just said, that's a common thing in these here parts, a brain. Well, I could probably sort a brain out for you. I have ways and means. It involves some slightly criminal activities, but I can get hold of a brain for you. That sounds perfectly... It sounds at least... I don't know if it sounds reasonable, but it sounds viable. It sounds viable. I mean, I've got issues here with the fact that this girl's turned up with a walking, talking scarecrow, and she doesn't introduce him to me by saying, "Excuse me, I'm a wizard, by the way. This is Oz." Yeah? It might look like a white wall and a black thing, which I've never explained to you what this is, but it's a black thing. And all this shit over here, which is just untidy. This is the land. It's not the land of Nod. This is the land. Was it the land of Oz? What was it called in The Wizard of Oz? This is Oz. This is Oz, all right? And she's turned up with this walking, talking scarecrow. Imagine if you turned on my channel and I had a video and it comes up and welcome, I'm Mercurial Mercenaries, but actually it's and there's next to me there's just a scarecrow sitting there, and you can see it's a real scarecrow. You can kind of see through the light through it, like it's a Christopher Nolan film or something. You can see like light through the neck and that. You can see it's a proper scarecrow, but it's walking and it's talking. You'd be like, the least the Mercurial number 6 could do. I mean, number 6. I could call myself the Mercurial number 6. The least the Mercurial number 6 could do would be to introduce explain what the hell this walking, talking scarecrow is all about. Anyway, a brain, you say, for your scarecrow friend. I think we can manage that. We can extract a brain from somewhere. We're not gonna... Look, obviously I'm talking about grave robbing here. I mean, where else am I gonna get a brain from? Maybe an animal brain? We can do an animal brain. Thing is, if I just say, right, we could do this. Just say I went to... Just say the Wizard of Oz. I could go... Just say the Wizard of Oz went to a market or something and got hold of a duck or a goose, like a full bird, and just sort of chop the top of the head off and remove the brain. The problem is, would someone who claims he hasn't got a brain, the fact that he's a walking, talking scarecrow, will get over that bit. That's the bit that I struggled to get over in the first place. Walking, talking scarecrow. I could get hold of a brain, an animal's brain, right? And I could put it in his head, but is a brain the size of a walnut? And again, he's got no brain in the first place. A brain the size of a walnut has got to be better than no brain at all. Hasn't it? I'm not sure. We can get you a brain, sir. Would you call a walking, talking scarecrow, sir? I mean, why am I being... I rule this land. I rule this land. I'm wearing a backwards jacket. I mean, why am I helping? Right. I remember it's coming back to me. Isn't this terrible? I've never watched The Wizard of Oz. What happened was, it was on at Christmas, and it got to I never really watched it, and I was with watching it, and it got to the bit where the Wizard of Oz at the end is dishing things out, and it's like the Scarecrow wants a brain, and the Tin Man wants a heart, and the Lion wants courage. And I was watching that, and I got my notebook on the phone out, and I thought, this is good, because this is just stupid. So I wrote it down, but where did the tassel bit go? There's no tassel on the hat. A brain, you say? We can certainly provide you with a brain. Now, young lady with the... Obviously, when I keep saying ostentatious shoes, I'm talking about the red... Does she wear the red slippers, the red shoes with the thing she clicks her heels together? Is she wearing it at this point? I think so. I can't remember. She's wearing it through the whole film. But, hang on. Brain. I can... It's alright. It's a backwards jacket. It works. I mean, what wizard wouldn't wear that? Oh, it's alright. Wait a minute. It's alright. We can provide you with a brain. Perhaps I'll get hold of a pig. Oh, no, hang on. I wouldn't tell him if I got hold of a brain. I've got to get hold of a brain for this guy. Scarecrow. And just say I got hold of like a pig's brain. Or something. I'm not going to tell him that, am I? Because I assume he wants... I can't remember what it is in the film. What's the reason why he wants a brain? Because I mean, what does he want a brain for? He's a walking, talking scarecrow. I mean, that's pretty good for a bunch of straw and like potato sacks or whatever. He can walk and talk. He's got no brain. He probably wants a human brain, because I take it he wants to be more human. Because everyone aspires to be more human. When you find out what humans do to each other, to the world, we can get you a brain. We won't mention it's a pig's brain, it's just a human brain. I can get you a human brain, Scarecrow. It can be done. Right, what was your name again? Dorothy, you say. Hello, Dorothy. Nice to meet you. My name's the Wizard of Oz, I think. Yeah, my name's the Wizard of Oz. I'm shaking your hand there. Nothing more, nothing less. Shaking your hand. What is chappy here? Tin Man. Tin Man. What does he want? Tin Man wants a heart. Interesting. Interesting. Tin Man wants a heart. We can do that. We can do... See, again, right? So, I was watching The Wizard of Oz, right? And the Scarecrow wants a brain. And I said, well, that's reasonable. There'll be a reason in the story why he needs a brain. And obviously, we find out at the end that the Wizard of Oz is just a sham. That he's just a bloke hiding behind the curtains who he's trying to portray himself as bigger and more important than he is in real life. That's a common thing that human beings do. You have a tiny, insular, little decrepit, little pathetic life, and you want to pretend that you're bigger than you really are. And that might be by wearing a fez for no reason and putting your jacket on backwards. That might be it. But, so that's the Wizard of Oz, right? But there'll be a point to the story why the Scarecrow needs a brain and the Tin Man needs a heart and the Lion needs courage. There'll be a storyline. So they go to the Wizard of Oz because they think that he can provide these things, because he's the legendary. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Wherever, ever, and ever, and ever, and ever, and ever, because... Something like that. Etc, etc. People who say etc out loud in conversation. I mean, on the written page it's bad enough, but when people do that, you know, I'm the Wizard of Oz. I can dish out, you know, brains, hearts, etc. So I was watching it, and the Scarecrow wants a brain. Yeah, that's good. That's all right. And the Tin Man wants a heart. And I'm thinking, oh, this is all right. Then I find out what the Lion wants. He wants courage. And that's the point I start scribbling. Because I imagine myself as the Tin Man. Because I'm the Wizard of Oz. I'm quite grand. I should be speaking in a grand voice.
Tin Man! You want a heart? I'm the Wizard of Oz. I can give you what you want.
Now, at this point, I've got to come up with a heart now. Now, we've got a walking, talking Tin Man, right? And I can handle this bit because in the Wizard of Oz, it could be a man just in like a suit of armour or something. I mean, a Tin Man. But the fact is that even if it is just a man in a tin suit, he hasn't got a heart. It's quite a wondrous film, really. I think the reason that Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and the Lion can even be talking to the Wizard of the Oz? Holy shit. Like emus and shit running around. Can even talk to him at the end is because they've already gone and killed the Wicked Witch? The Wicked Witch of the West. But all they managed to do was they just tipped some water on her, didn't they? So we're talking about an all-powerful creature that everyone's in fear of, but she's just got to avoid the rain. That's even worse than Dracula with the whole sunlight bit. I mean, you know, you can walk around in the night time. Imagine if you got to avoid. I mean, well, okay, right? That's the thing. I'm thinking about being the Wicked Witch of the West around here. It's pissing down with rain all the time. Because if you live in a land where it doesn't rain, perhaps it doesn't rain in Oz. So that's why they've got to meet the bloody wizard at the end anyway, because they've already killed the Wicked Witch. I forgot that bit. We can do this. We can do this. It's like a backwards jacket and a scarf and a fez, but it's all right. It's all right. How long is this taking? Holy shit. Tip, right, so I've got to provide a tip. So I'm providing the tip.
I could provide you with a heart.
I've got to get a heart. It's back to grave robbing again. Not necessarily. We could go back to the duck. Little duck's heart. Just pop open the Tin Man, perhaps like a door at the front of him, like Bender out of Futurama, and just chuck like the gizzards or whatever in. Job done. Tin Man, slam the door shut. Tin Man done, right? So
Scarecrow, brain, done. Tin Man, heart, done.
This is the point. This is the point now, right? When I was watching The Wizard of Oz, and this is when I had to write it down, because at this point, the lion asks for courage, and I said to the person sitting next to me, I said, "This is all well and good, right? So imagine you're the Wizard of Oz, and these idiots come up to you and they say, oh, we want this guy here wants a brain,' and you go, well, there you go, there's a brain. Job done. Off you." Tin Man says, I want a heart, and you say, there you go, there's a heart. Off you. Even the girl says, I want to go home, and you say, well, for sake, you're wearing magic shoes. Just click your heels together and it'll go back and it'll all be like it was just a dream. All right? Piece of piss. But you got this bloody lion, right? So I'm handing out brains and hearts and shit, and you got this lion, and he goes, oh, I want courage. And then...
You want? What did you say you want?
Oh, I want courage.
Courage? Brain, heart, fine, markets, grave robbing. Courage! Courage! Courage!
I think he left courage out of his dictionary as well, Baldric. Oh, and Aardvark.
Courage! Seriously, Lion, I don't know what you mean here. I specifically deal in organs, okay? And your Scarecrow chum here is walking, talking, we'll forget that part, and the Tin Man walking, talking. In fact, you were talking lion. You were talking lion. Brains and hearts, all fine. It's easy. In fact, I'll go so far as piece of piss. Courage. Courage! Where do you want me to start?
And that's what happened. That's all that happened, right? So I was watching The Wizard of Oz, and it gets to the bit at the end where the Scarecrow asks for a brain, and the Tin Man asks for a heart, and the lion asks for courage. And I said out loud, I said, well, I don't understand what the Wizard of Oz is supposed to do here, because you got tangible things that you can give out. I want a Twix bar. Sorted. Easy, innit? He wants a bag of Maltesers. Sorted, easy, isn't it? But my pal here, this lion guy, he wants the notion, the concept of absence of meaning in life directly correlating with a marching forward of time and an ever deflating sense of self. And it's like I was saying out loud, if you're the...
I'm the Wizard of Oz!
If you're the Wizard of Oz, how the hell do you hand these things out? Because I was saying, this kind of stumbles at the end. You can now hear brain, yeah, I could do a brain. I didn't see what he actually what did he hand out? What did the Wizard of Oz hand out for a brain? I'm sure you'll write down below. The Scarecrow asks for a brain, and there's probably some clever way that the Wizard of Oz, I mean, I wasn't really watching. At this point, I was just writing on my phone. But he probably hands out something which makes the Scarecrow feel clever. Then the Tin Man asks for a heart, and there's probably, so he probably doesn't throw gizzards or whatever into the Tin Man's belly. He probably does something that makes him feel. But I was thinking, it's a bit, it's not fair. It's not fair to go up to this guy who, I mean, okay, so
I'm pretending to be grand.
But he's not really grand. He's just an old bloke in a telephone kiosk shouting through a megaphone, wearing a fez, wearing his thing backwards with scarf. It's not. Is it fair to ask for courage? And that's what I was saying when I wasn't doing all this and being all like trying to be theatrical. I was just sitting watching The Wizard of Oz, and I only sort of picked up on it halfway through because I've never watched the whole film all the way through. And I was just saying, how is that fair? How is it fair to ask for courage? What's he supposed to give you? Courage. And basically I was told to wind my neck in. Just to wind your neck in. There's nothing wrong with asking for courage. And I think he hands the lion a medal and says, there you go. That's for being brave or whatever, having courage. There you go. And the lion gets the medal, and it's like, and I think, well, can all life's problems be handled that simply? You know, you go up to someone who you've built up to be perhaps more important than they really are. You know, maybe they are wearing their jacket backwards and they're wearing a fez, but you've built them up. And then you go to them with like unrealistic expectations. So perhaps, I mean, what's an unrealistic expectation? I don't know, to watch videos other than Discover's? Is that unrealistic? Or to just say I went to the Wizard of Oz and I said, look, Wizard, I know you can do the hearts and the brains and all that shit, but I'm not gonna be stupid. I'm not gonna ask for courage, because you can't deliver courage. You could put me on some sort of training course maybe to kind of somehow establish some kind of attempt to give me the values that I could create my own sense of worth and perhaps over time a proper sense of courage. But what I'm going to not be that difficult. I'm just going to ask for people to perhaps watch my next video, my top 10 Queen songs, more than say, I don't know, 100 people. And the idea that everyone who watches it might comment on it. Can you imagine that? And I could ask, perhaps that's all I'd ask the Wizard of Oz. Perhaps that's all I'd ask. And do you know what he'd probably say? He'd say, do you know what, Mercurial number 6, it would be easier to give you courage than to get people to watch your top 10 Boney M songs.
However, I am all powerful, and your wish is my command.
See, I thought that was a good idea. I wrote that. I actually, when I was watching The Wizard of Oz, I got my phone out and I got a little pen out of the phone and I started writing. I said, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. The lion is requesting that the wizard give him courage, whereas the Scarecrow asked for a brain and the Tin Man asked for a heart. You can give him those. And the person with me was just going, what the f*** are you talking about? And I'm going, well, it's easy. Look, go up and you ask for a heart. There you go, there's a brain. He's asking for courage. Is he an idiot? And she's like, he's a talking lion. Over and